Hello, my name is Katelyn Land, and I'm a junior here at Tarleton State University. And today I want to talk to you about the school that I am hoping to potentially teach in. This is Whitney Elementary. It is located in Hamilton, Texas, which is about a 45-minute drive from Stephenville. Hamilton's population consists of 2,962 people. Of those, 96% are rural and 4% are urban. Of these people, 82.6% are white, 12% are Hispanic, 0.8% are African American, 0.5% are Asian, 0.5% are American Indian, and 2% are two or more races. For those who are 15 years and over in Hamilton City, those who have never been married are 17.2%, those who are now married are 53.8%, those who are separated are 2.3%, widowed 10.7%, and divorced 16.0%. For those who are 25 years and older in Hamilton, the degrees held are high school or higher education is 80.5%, a bachelor's degree or higher education degree is 20.5%, graduate or professional degree is 4.9%, and those who are unemployed is 3.4%. Compared to the Texas state average, the number of college students, length of stay since moving in, unemployment rate, median household income, as well as many other percentage factors, are well below the state average. Although this does not sound promising, it is these towns and schools that need the best teachers in the market, and that is what I know I'm going to be. I had the opportunity to become a student observer and mentor here this year, and I have to say, if it was not for this field placement, I would have never been introduced to my potential teaching location. As a student observer in Whitney Elementary, I had the pleasure of working with one of the best 5th grade mathematics teachers I could ever know, Miss Tina Dittrich. Walking into this school, I felt that it would be a little nerve-wracking, especially entering a mathematics classroom knowing that I would be soon teaching a lesson in there. Mathematics has never been my strong suit, so I was scared that I would tell the students I'd be working with the wrong way to perform a certain math problem. But when I came into Miss Dittrich's classroom, the room felt warm and welcoming and not at all intimidating. The students loved her and she loved her students. The way she taught was so smooth. Students quickly caught on, and while I was observing her, I was not so scared of math anymore. From my time with her, I thought it would be kind of cool to teach mathematics one day. I had also thought that I would be the kind of teacher to aim towards lower education grades, like 2nd or 3rd grade, but I've really been enjoying my time in the 5th grade classroom. If I had to choose, I would say that I would like to teach 5th grade, but honestly, at Whitney, give me any grade and I'll be happy, as long as I'm with my students and we're learning and growing together. The school is small, but its heart is big. As I walk down the hallway, students I do not even recognize wave and tell me good morning, and it feels as if I'm home. And that is why I want to teach here at Whitney Elementary. Whitney is a part of Hamilton ISD, which also includes Hamilton Junior High and Hamilton High School. Hamilton ISD in total contains 855 students. 402 are in Whitney, 253 in Hamilton High School, and 200 in Hamilton Junior High. The district in total contains 0.6% American Indian/Alaskan Natives, 15.6% Hispanics, 81.5% whites, and 2.3% of students who are two or more races. Regarding lunch program eligibility, 48% of students are considered eligible for free or reduced price lunch. The total number of classroom teachers per student in Hamilton ISD are 17.4. The number of students who are considered LEP are 38 total, and the students with disability population consists of 23 students. Of the entire Hamilton district, there are 22 total students who are considered gifted and talented. Regarding Whitney only, the number of students per teacher are 13.3. The students considered LEP are 30 total students. 39 students have disabilities. 17 students are gifted/talented. And of the total percentage, 199 students are eligible for free lunch, and 27 students are eligible for reduced price lunch. After talking with the school, they calculated the total number of low socioeconomic students contained in the district and in the elementary. Whitney has a total percentage of 62.4% of students who are low socioeconomic, and the district has 57.2%. As you can see, Whitney would be considered a low socioeconomic school, but that only made me want to be there more. These are the schools that need the most help. Schools enrolling these students may find difficulties in driving them, but that is what I'm looking to do. Something important to take into consideration is that all students are different. They learn differently and behave differently, and that is why differentiated instruction is so important. Not every student can learn the same way, so it's best to approach each one individually in hopes for them to succeed. And that is why Hamilton pulls me in. Their mission and belief statement is, the Hamilton ISD is committed to providing all students an individualized education through exemplary instruction, which inspires academic success, personal excellence, and responsible citizenship. With this in mind, they are focusing on how each student responds to and approaches instruction. Yet another reason why Hamilton ISD is the school district for me. Hamilton's vision statement is Learn Today, Lead Tomorrow, also known as #LT2. With this in mind, the students as well as the teachers are able to take what they've learned and apply it later in order to lead students as well as themselves. For example, as a teacher, it's important to learn from your students in order to fix or assess them in a way that might not have been effective previously, but knowing now what works, you are able to lead them differently next time. As the student, you are able to be involved in the learning process. That way you are able to achieve your goal in progressing academically and applying what you learn into your everyday life. Hamilton is always looking at what they can do to benefit their students, their school, their district, and their community, and it is clear that they are on a mission in regards to their strategic plan for academic improvement and academic growth. In summary, Ann Whitney is no easy process when it comes to hiring their staff and administration members. They make sure that teachers planning to work here are driven, hardworking, and are here for all the right reasons. Ann Whitney needs teachers that care for their students and are passionate about progression and student achievement. This school makes sure that the students are in settings that are comfortable, easy to learn in, respectful, and accommodating to each and every student, whether that is special education students, regular education students, gifted and talented, and so on. And as stated before, and will continually be repeated, they plan to help every individual student achieve their academic goals by providing differentiated instruction and a variety of implemented learning styles. And lastly, they plan to be effective in communication and perception among their district, community, and students. After talking with Ms. Dittrich, she explained to me that the biggest academic need for Ann Whitney is the need for an effective writing program for grades kindergarten through 5th grade. After examining the scores of the writing exams taken by these students over the past few years, it's clear that the writing results of the students are not in the place they need to be in comparison to the state. The scores of other subjects compared to the district and state are exemplary, but the percentage of students taking writing exams falls way below the state standards, and that is why an effective writing program is needed. Knowing that I fall into the category of hardworking and driven members in the teaching field, the skills, accommodations, ideas, and motivation I'll be able to offer to Hamilton are endless. For example, I will be able to offer the drive to educate students. In my early years, there were not many teachers that stood out to me that I feel cared about my education. I felt that they were just anticipating the moment for the end of the year, coming into school every day just eager for the day to be over, and so on. It was hard to feel motivated in a place like that. It actually resulted in me failing a few tests because I felt that if my teacher didn't care, I didn't. After a self-realization, I realized that it was wrong. I know that I can do better. That's when I realized that I was going to be a teacher. I was not going to be like the teachers that I've had in my past. I was going to be the teacher that cared for the education and accommodations of her students. I was going to walk in every day, excited to teach and excited for my students to learn. Passion is defined as a strong and uncontrollable emotion. It's different from love, and it's different from drive. And to say that I will be able to offer the passion for teaching can tell you that I'm 100% dedicated to the teaching field. I'm passionate about my students' education, their feelings, and their lives. I use this word now after having a talk with one of my former professors. She confessed to me how she's always thinking about what she can do for her students, her school, her district, and so on. She used this word, passionate, and defined it to me just like I've defined it for you. She told me that not only did she love it, like it, or enjoy it, but she was extremely passionate about it. Leaving her office, I realized that I felt the same way about teaching. I was passionate. I am passionate. The last but not least discussion I will make about what I can offer to Ann Whitney is the constant reconstruction and reworking of lesson planning to assess my students and promote effective learning. No lesson plan works for everyone. If you come into school one day thinking that you've created the best lesson plan your class has ever seen, but realize it's not effective or not resulting in beneficial outcomes, it needs to be changed. With the help of your students and fellow staff members, you can construct and reconstruct lesson plans in order to meet students' needs and promote effective learning. I believe there's no perfect way to approach instruction, and that the best instruction comes from building and refining over time. Every student is different when it comes to learning and retaining information. This is why I believe it's not beneficial to stick to just one instructional approach. Valuing the needs and learning approaches of my students is my goal. Any time in a career, there will always come challenges. And although I'm very confident in my need for supporting and educating my future students, I know that there will be some obstacles along the way. When wanting to give your students the learning they need, it can sometimes feel scary. Sometimes you may feel like what you're doing is not effective, or your students care not to respond, and so on. Here are a few challenges I know may arise if I'm given the opportunity to work at Whitney Elementary. The first obstacle is the amount of special education students. I am observing in Whitney about 4 hours a week, and the amount of non-regular education students walking in and out of the classroom are endless. I had even been given the opportunity to observe a special education setting, and when I arrived, I felt ill-prepared on what I was supposed to do or say. I am learning about special education students, but it's scary to think that these children will be in my classroom one day, and that I'll need to assess them in a way that meets their needs. These students deserve the kind of education in order for academic success, and although this will be a challenge, I'm ready to face it head on. Another challenge that may come my way, as briefly stated earlier, is feeling ill-prepared. Although I'm extremely organized and a detailed-oriented person, I still feel that when I walk into my classroom on the first day, I may be missing something, or my students may ask me a question that I'm unsure of how to answer. There's not a day that goes by that I think about feeling ill-prepared. Another example is that I hear my college classmates discuss with their peers about all of the children's books they bought for their future classroom library, and I'm overhearing this conversation with anxiety as if I'm not ready yet. But I think that one day it will come together. I know that with trial and error, I will feel comfortable in my classroom, and I will ask my students to forgive me if I mess up in a lecture. I think the most important thing is to build a relationship with your students and come to a conclusion knowing that we all make mistakes and that we will mess up sometimes, but all we want is what's best for each other. Not the last, but definitely a detrimental challenge I feel I will face is the inability to reach students. I feel that sometimes in a low socioeconomic setting, students' motivation to learn is rare. I know that I will come into this school ready to teach, but are my students going to be ready to learn? This may be a huge challenge, but I do believe that as a teacher who is passionate and eager to know how her students learn and approach instruction, overcoming this obstacle is foreseeable. Students want to feel cared for, and to know how each of your students' minds tick, promoting learning and engaging participation can be accomplished. I discussed this issue with one of the science teachers at Whitney, Mr. Agricola. He told me that, unlike high socioeconomic schools, where teachers are handed to them exactly what they're going to be doing from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, low socioeconomic schools are not given that opportunity, but are given more leeway regarding lesson planning. This leeway does not call for fluff or student downtime, but the ability to get to know your students and teach the way that they will learn in order to reach them and in order for academic success. To conclude, I can honestly say that I was confused as to where I wanted to teach one day. It wasn't until I walked into this school when I knew this is where I meant to be. I've done my research and I know what I need to do in order to be the best teacher that I can be. I have a lot to offer this school, and if hired, I will be able to show them what I can do for my students and for this school. I know that there will be challenges faced, but I'm ready to put my foot down and say, try me. I have built a connection here that will always have a place in my heart. The students greet me with a good morning, Miss Land, and a smile, and the teachers are there to help give me advice for my future teaching and help build me into the teacher I know I will be one day. I'm hoping to be able to get Hamilton as my PD3 and clinical teaching placement next year so I can be able to be around these students way before I start teaching, if hired. I'm already getting comfortable with them and have built everlasting bonds with both them, the teachers, and the staff members. To be around this environment every day prior to getting the job will be extremely beneficial. I want to close out this video with something that is heard over the end of the announcements every day at Whitney. It's always a great day to be a Hamilton Bulldog. I hope you enjoyed the video.